Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Roland out here in Thailand with my boy Jaden. Y'all already know what it is with Magnetic Charisma. Y'all know what we like to do, right? We like to keep it real on all levels so everybody can understand that we are not alone when it comes to being authentic and original, right? So, my last statement I said I wanted to go off into something called the Primordial way, right? And it's not something of my creation, really. It's just something that I remembered that we was all supposed to be on. I'm pretty sure once I get into it, everybody will remember it, and y'all see this a movement that need a lot of attention in these times. And that being said, without saying so much, we're gonna talk on pretty much, like I said, the primordial way, just to give further explanation as to how it's genetically written in us to actually be what we was created to be, right? Instead of trying to be, what we have created labels of ego to be, right? So I'm gonna ask my homeboy Jaden on what he feel, because he's what you call a real Christian. I feel like a real follower of Yeshua, and when you have somebody that's strictly on that religious core, they follow the righteous path, they see things clearly with the righteous eye. So I'm gonna ask him how he feel about the primordial way and how it relates to what the Creator or Yeshua would actually have us to be in that path from now. How you feel about the primordial way?
Yeah, so I think we have a little bit of conversation about this, and I think looking at it, you got to look at, well, what is primordial, right? Primordial is ancient. It's old. It's before time, basically, right?
Right.
And so when we're using that verbiage, I think it's important to look at, well, what was there originally? What was there before time? What was there in the beginning? And obviously, we look at the creation story, and we look in the beginning, there was, God made man in His image, the Creator, the Holy Ghost and Yeshua, they made them in our image, right? And when they did that, what was man? Man was wild. They didn't have the systems and the ways of doing things that we're doing them today.
Schools.
We didn't have schools. We didn't have none of that. We went off into the jungle over there, and we made life happen, and we made the way. And I think that's what the primordial way really represents, is just going back to the roots of what the Creator intended for us to be,
right.
And intended for us to have inside of us, because He gave us everything we need. Right. Everything we need is already inside, right?
Right.
And
right.
so I think when we go back, to that, we're able to actually harness the highest essence of our own being, that wildness and that originality that's inside of all of us.
Right. Now it's funny. Now, this is not my movement, but he literally speaking my words. That's my same definition. Is like, we literally got ahead of ourselves with trying to create things to help us or supposedly make us more comfortable in this creation. When really, our Creator gave us everything to make us the most comfortable possible, but we didn't use our faculties in which our Creator gave us to actually seek out those things in which was placed there for our comfort. Instead, we want to take what other people tell us. Hey, yeah, this is going to give you comfort. Yeah, at this price. You feel what I'm saying? You have to buy it at this price. And then when you get it, because you felt like it was going to bring you comfort, it don't bring you that. Now you're looking for the next sale, the next luxury, the next pacification. You feel me? And it's like you said, it's all about like just going back to the roots.
I think coming to Thailand, like, that's one of the main things I learned since coming here, to be honest. It's one of the things that I gained from visiting here and from just seeing the culture and the life here, is like, I can eat fresh fruit every day. You know what I mean? I can go sit out in the sun like this, and I can actually experience like the feeling of energy, the feeling of the Creator's love, and some of these things that it's almost like we're boxed in. We're in a concrete building back in the West, and everything's just like that concrete jungle. We're just kind of being stuck in this place where we're not really where we're meant to be.
Right, out of our natural habitat.
Yeah, and I think coming here has just reminded me how much gratitude I actually should have for those things, and all of us should have for the small things, but the things that are really important.
Right, but see, we don't have that level of what's important when we constantly worried about surviving.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Our ability to see the value in anything is distorted when we constantly worried about where we gonna get our next meal from, or how we gonna put a roof over our head, or or am I gonna still have my job next week, or is the school gonna answer my emails?
Got my car payments.
Yeah, we got so many things that's gonna burden down our natural nervous system to the point where we created a hell, so to speak, basically. When if we were an intelligent civilization, the systems in which we create is supposed to serve us and make our lives easier. Yet, look at the world today, man. We done exhausted ourselves materially to the point where now we trying to go to other planets, but yeah, we ain't finished figuring out everything on this planet. You feel what I'm saying? Why we spending billions of dollars trying to go off into another place when we still haven't figured out all the different life forms here or the ways that they contribute to our own existence. So it's like we
More
keep
focused on killing them off.
right. So are we gonna continue to allow those with the most money dictate how we live our lives when those who with the most money are in control of the whole concept of money to begin with? So it's like it's a game we playing that we losing, and all we gonna do is keep losing because it's not meant for us to win. It's not. Our creators didn't create this game. Our creators created nature. That's why we have abilities. A lot of us have these gifts that don't fit into this society and don't fit into this civilization, and we feel like we don't have a purpose here because we wasn't created for this system. We was created for this nature. You feel what I'm saying? That's why you look at people with disabilities like Down syndrome, right? I had a Down syndrome dude that went to my high school, and he had the biggest heart. You feel what I'm saying? And I used to think about the fact that if the world wasn't built on so much materialistic, abstract stuff, and they were just built off of energy and emotion, man, this person wouldn't be considered disabled because he know how to love. You feel what I'm saying? He know the difference between good and bad. He just doesn't know how to do the arithmetic type of stuff for the corporate system. So now he's considered disabled. But if he's dealing with his emotions, he's in full control.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, sometimes like you said, like sometimes people with disabilities or what we call disabilities, they have a hard time getting by in this society.
That's what I mean.
But if you really look at those people, like I would say in my experience, like 99% of the time when I meet someone with, you know, autism or Down syndrome or something like that, they're probably like the kindest people you're gonna meet.
Right, that's my experience.
They're always
too.
kind, you know?
Right.
And so what did God really, or our creator, tell us to be? Was to, you know, what was Jesus' last words that he left? Was to, you know, love one another
as your brother,
and to love God, right?
Right.
And
they
so
do
if
it,
those
people do it, they exhibit that without even being taught that.
Yeah.
But yet the society in which we in, they're viewed as handicapped because that's all they know how to do.
Yeah.
But then you have those who don't even know how to exhibit no love and getting put on a pedestal and getting paid the most money. You feel what I'm saying? They don't know how to exhibit no love whatsoever, no compassion whatsoever, but they know how to do all that corporate stuff, so therefore you should be rewarded.
Yeah.
But if you show love and that's all you know how to do, you autistic. You feel what I'm saying? You can't get with the flow of this system. This is civilization. And a lot of us feel like we don't have a place in this world, in this life, when all the while it's because we continue to hold up the system that don't have a place for us. You feel me? So yeah, that's magnetic charisma with a little bit of primordial weight. We done drifted a little bit off of. No, we didn't drift at all. Matter of fact, we stayed on course because all of it is dealing with basically us understanding the fact that we done got off course of our Creator's original plan for our life. We're not supposed to be having dreams because even the scriptures say a man may plan many ways, but it's the Lord's plan that shall stand. So you can have all the dreams that you want, you can have all the plans that you want. But at the same time, the Most High gonna put what you're supposed to be here for already before you came into this world, because inside the womb, created you and knitted you together. He's seen your good side and bad side before you came to be.
Well, when God puts a dream in your heart, God's not a liar. He accomplishes the things that he puts in your heart, but what those dreams require is our action.
That part.
And that's the thing, is our action is the answer to our dreams. And if we don't act on them, and then we ask, well, why maybe God didn't tell me to do this, you know?
But
well,
see,
maybe God didn't tell me to do this because it didn't happen, but you didn't act on it to make it happen.
Okay,
you know?
so let's make sure the dream in which we have it, right? Let's just say we have many different dreams. And let's just say we have a dream to do certain things that may be outside of our own abilities. We should always make sure that we remember that our Creator will send us a dream that fits our potential at the time, or the potential that we can actually acquire just by a little bit of discipline. Because a lot of times people run off in dreams that may have a big price tag or a big fame following, but they don't have the actual ability to acquire it because they basically wasn't created to do that. But they want to dream of that. Well, so make sure your dreams align with your proper estimate of your of your potential. Don't be inflated in your possibility, your own potential. You feel what I'm saying? Because when you inflate your own potential, you don't give a proper estimate, then you don't know where your starting point is. You don't know where you can actually learn and build on to what you know. You're faking everything to the point where now, when it's time to show what you know, you forgot that you was faking this, and now
yeah, you're convinced of your own lies, basically. At the end of
you feel what I'm saying?
And I think, but at the same time, and I agree with what you're saying, and at the same time, you know, what distinguishes a world-class athlete from an athlete that plays in the college leagues? The only thing is maybe one or two habits, to be honest, most of the time. If you really like break it down, you know, they're doing the training routine, they're doing everything. There's one or two habits of discipline, like you mentioned. One or two actions that they're taking, or one or two things that they gave up that other people weren't willing to.
But you said a world-class in a what?
Versus, like a world-class athlete versus, you know, someone who's in a college or a college athletics or maybe like the NFL versus, I don't know, versus Olympians. You know what I mean? Like
I was going to say,
NHL versus Olympians.
My brain grabbed that in the sense where world class had to start off in college. So
right.
They just on the
so
way
they changed one or two things along the way. That's what I'm saying.
The college version is on the way to being world class if they follow the path in which the world class path, whatever the path they was taking. And the thing is, it's like, if we really wanted to really sit down and see what our problems stem from, bro, it stemmed from us pretending to be okay with what's going on in life. You feel what I'm saying? If we really just stop playing along with the things we know that's not okay, not for ourselves and for other people, this world would be a better place. But instead, we want to keep pretending. We want to keep acting like everything's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind paying bills because I got money.
And then you wonder why people have this anger that wells up inside them and this hatred for each other that constantly welling up inside of them, you know? If we were to just sit there and look ourselves in the mirror and actually say, dude, I don't want this for me. I don't like this habit. I don't like this thing. I know it's wrong and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be that person, or I'm going to go do this. We wouldn't have this hatred welling up inside of us because we're accomplishing what we know we're supposed to, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
and that comes from being in the environment in which we was created to be in. We done been put into a concrete cage where we done been given tasks that don't allow us the time to think about freedom. You feel what I'm saying? The freedom in the sense where our creators meant for us to be. And let me tell you why you know our creators meant for us to be free. Because you don't see not one other creature created by our creator have to pay to be here. They ain't paying rent, they ain't paying water, and they ain't paying for groceries. So that means they stuck to the original plan. We need to get back to it. That's magnetic charisma. See, I might have to edit that. Good. 12 minutes. That's about 5 days worth of videos right there.
Yeah, and I mean,
see, I was hoping